Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to Seniors Today and Evergreen. My name is Firoz, and I'm your host for the day. But we have a special guest with us, not to forget our very own sponsor, Merzi by Primus. So, I would like to introduce our doctor of the day. And yes, you can ask any questions related to supplements, uh, how much we should we take or not. So before we start, I would like to introduce her, Dr. Snehalata Shiva Prakash, VP Clinical Services at Merzi, has over 14 years of experience in patient care, wellness, and healthcare management. Previously with Portia and Manipal, she specializes in preventive healthcare and holistic wellness. So that's an amazing profile, doctor. So before doctor starts the presentation and explain, the chat box is open for you all. If you have any queries, any questions related to supplements, or else what Merzi is, what Primus is, you can always put in the chat box, and we would love to answer them all. Over to you, doctor.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. And good evening to everyone. I'm hoping this is the second time we're meeting. For all those who were there in my previous webinar, I'd like to tell you that we covered in the previous webinar about what is supplements. So before I dive into today's topic, I thought just for people who missed out, I'll just tell you what is it that we did on that day. So basically what we did was we covered what is a supplement. So just in a single line, if I have to sum it up or to give you an example, if rice and dal is your food, then supplement is your raita or your pickle or your papad, which completes your meal, but you can have a meal even without them. So they just add support to your food system. They do not replace your food. So this has to be taken in along with a prescription or preferably a discussion with your doctor, because it can have interactions with other medicines that you're taking. So now let's dive into today's topic. So what I told you before was what is supplements. So today we're going to talk about 5 main supplements that really impact your age as you grow older. So before that, let me share my presentation. Please let me know if you're able to see it. I am hoping you're able to see it.
Yeah.
You're able to see my screen?
Yeah, ma'am. We can see that. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So let's dive into the topic. So Fab 5. Now I told you that I was talking about supplement, right? So if I were to consider supplement world as a movie, every movie should have some kind of superstar person who's cast over there, right? So like that, these 5 that I've selected today are the superstar in the supplement world. So I would like to know if you have any idea what these 5 are. I'll just give you a couple of minutes for you to type in the chat box. Which do you think are the 5 supplements, which are the Fab 5 of the supplement world? So you can go ahead and put it in the chat group so that let's see how much of you know or what are you taking. Do you think what you're taking is one of the top 5 in this particular age group? You can just put them in your chat group. And I'll just give you a minute until that happens. Let me just tell you a little bit of the supplement, these 5 supplements we've chosen. Okay, so we've chosen these 5 supplements because we know that these are the most common ones out there which you're taking, and they are the most usual culprits, or they address most basic problems as you grow old. So it could be something as your energy being low, you're feeling fatigue, you have a generalized body pain, or you have kind of you're feeling that you're not having enough of strength, a little bit of memory loss. Some of I started getting replies. Some are telling it is protein, calcium, potassium, minerals, vitamins, and other important ones. Yes, kind of vitamin D, B12, E, K, omega 3. Perfect. So yeah, most of you are giving the kind of the right answers. But let me just bring into perspective which are the top 5 that we have selected and we're going to talk about. Okay, so these top five, though I have given it as one, two, three, four, five, please do not be mistaken. These do not, it's not a ranking system, it's just a number system that I've put there just to tell you that there are five in them. And each of this, which I'm talking about, has important function in your body. So the most common, which most of you would have taken at some point of your life, is calcium. Then there is vitamin D and B12, which everybody is now, it's a talk of the town. No, you talk to anybody who's undergone any kind of preventive illness checkup or any kind of lab test, they will tell you, like I challenged last time. Now also I will tell you that almost 90% of everybody have some sort of vitamin D deficiency or vitamin B12 deficiency. This has become a very common thing, and everybody wants to give you some sort of prescription for this. Okay. Then there is omega 3, and then there's the one culprit who almost all of us have sometime taken, multivitamin tablets. So I'm going to dive into each one of this, and I'm going to tell you how each one of it affects us and why we should take them. So we'll start with the most basic one, calcium. Okay. Now, again, I have also written here as a bone builder, but you have to understand calcium does not mean only your bones. Okay. Calcium has a lot of function in your body. So, for example, in your muscle cannot, any muscle that you work, your hands, your heart, any kind of muscle that you're going to exercise or do work on requires calcium to function. If there's no calcium, it cannot do its work at all. Okay. Even your heart will stop functioning if the calcium is not there. But what happens in our body is we have an inbuilt bone system where calcium is stored. Okay. So normally when we are growing up, we are taking the source from the absorption from our stomach, we are building these bones and making them storage systems, right? Whenever you have deficiency, either because you're not taking enough or it is not being absorbed properly from your stomach, then what happens is your body tries to compensate because it needs calcium to function. If calcium is not there, even your heart will stop functioning. So what it does, it starts breaking down your bone, taking the calcium from there and replacing it here. Because we won't survive if the calcium is not there, and the heart will not beat if there's no calcium. So what our body is trying to do is compensate from its repository. Now, this becomes worse when we grow older because our hormones are changing and the amount of food that we're eating and the kind of diet that we're following or the absorption capacity of our stomach kind of reduces. Okay, this is because as we grow older, even our gut system changes. The acid that we produce, which breaks down the food, is kind of compromised. Keeping all this in mind, the amount of calcium that your body is taking becomes less. So our body tries to compensate it by pulling it from your bones, making them weaker. Okay. Now, having said all this, does it mean that a calcium test, blood test, is enough to tell you have calcium deficiency? I'll just recount one of my patients. They had come to me with a little bit of fatigue and weakness, and then they told me I had a just minor bump. They were complaining of hip pain. So they said I was sitting on a low stool and kind of slipped, but the impact was not too huge. I did not get any shooting pain or anything like that, and the distance between my fall and the floor was very less. But I still have kind of very throbbing pain. I'm not able to walk. I'm not able to move that leg. Now we took the patient inside, we got them an X-ray done, and we saw the hip bone was fractured. Now, mind you, this was a 45-year-old woman who was very healthy, follows a normal diet, and she was completely all right. She had no other symptoms of any weakness or anything else. So when we checked on her blood calcium levels, it was normal. Now, why I'm telling you all this is sometimes your blood will show normal calcium because it's taking away from your bones. So she did not know that she had a trouble until she fell down and we were able to do an X-ray. So that is why when we do a complete checkup, we don't look at only your blood levels. We also look at your X-rays to see what kind of situation you are in. Okay. So most common places where calcium we can pick up is from your milk, curd, ragi, paneer. These are just a few of them. Okay. But again, if your diet is not adequate or if you have any kind of symptoms like IBS or any kind of disease like that, then I would suggest you take a supplement. Again, whenever we talk about supplements, you have to remember there's a time in which you take it and there's a method in which you take it. Now, something like calcium cannot be taken along with your iron tablet. Okay, but this calcium tablet should be taken after lunch on a heavy meal, then the absorption is maximum. Okay, so preferably afternoons, if you take them, it is definitely going to help you get them better. Normal dosage, if you ask me, we would require about 1000 to 1200 mg per day, and we usually don't give it as a single tablet. We try to split the dose and give it as 500 mg per time if you're not taking it. So that kind of gives you a brief about calcium. Now let's move on to the next, uh, which is vitamin D. Now this is a culprit which most of us have deficiency in. And what does vitamin D do for us? It helps us boost our energy. It keeps us functioning well. It helps in preventing joint pain. It helps in absorption of calcium. It plays a numerous role in our body, but most of us do not have enough of it in our body. Reason being, one, they either we've not had enough of absorption, we're not taking supplements, our diet is incomplete. Now the question most of you will ask, I've heard that vitamin D comes from sun, right? Then normally Indians should have no complaints about it, because we have, throughout the year, we have sunlight in abundance, more than what we want. Then why is it that we're not having enough of vitamin D? Reason is simple. When we go out, nowadays we try to avoid the sun because it's very hot, and we try between 10 to 3, we try to sit inside indoors in AC rooms or in places which are shaded. If we're going out, we have been advised to make sure that we put sunscreen, SPF 15, SPF 30, SPF 60. There are numerous products out there which tell you to apply them before you go to the sun. But what we fail to realize is that in this situations, whatever you're applying kind of restricts your absorption of UV rays. When I talk about UV rays, there's a particular UVB rays which is important for the vitamin D to be synthesized in your body. And absence of this only causes your vitamin D levels to come down. Now, this UVB rays, normally when the sunlight is coming through our atmosphere, it is getting filtered. Okay, especially in places of like in Bangalore, Delhi, where there's a lot of smoke, where there's a lot of pollution, UVB rays are already prevented from coming down. Okay, so they're being filtered out, and by the time they reach you, and if you are wearing your mask, you're wearing your hats, you're wearing shawls, you're wearing sunscreen, it's not going to reach your body at all. So by the time it's absorbed, it's almost gone. Negligible amount is getting into your body. So that is why we're not able to get adequate amount. And the second reason why we don't have it compared to the fairer generations of fairer people in US and all this, we have something called melanin in our body, right? Which makes us a little more dark skin compared to them. The melanin was actually given to us as a form of adoption, okay? Because we have a lot of sunlight here. If you do not have enough of melanin, you will be ending up with a lot of burns in your skin. Just to cope with all that, God has made us so beautifully that we can prevent burning by having melanin. So maximum what happens to us is we get tanned when we go out, right? That is because of an increase in number of melanin. Now this melanin also has an affinity for UVB rays. So what happens when UVB rays are coming to you? Melanin itself absorbs UVB rays and prevents the synthesis of vitamin D. So it is taking away what is required for vitamin D to be supplemented. So what is the solution for all this? The solution is you have to go to the sun anywhere between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. when the UVB rays are maximum. But when I say go out, doesn't mean that you have to sit for hours together there. Just spend 10 to 15 minutes there, but make sure you're bare skin. That means don't cover your hands and legs, don't cover your face, don't apply any kind of sunscreen. Go there, and within 10 to 15 minutes, at least thrice a week, if you do this, you will get your adequate amount of vitamin D. Okay, and the only difference between us and the fairer skin people would be that they do not have melanin as much as us, so they do not need 10 to 15 minutes. For them, a shorter duration is enough. Even 5 to 8 minutes is enough for them. If you're a little more dark skin, I would say just increase the span of absorption. Just wait for them. Okay, now let's move on to the next one, vitamin B12. Now vitamin B12, we call it the energy charger, or like, if I have to tell in simpler terms, it's like your electricity of your house. Okay, so it comes through wires, and your wires, if they are frayed out or if they're not working properly, then you will have this flickering of lights. Your appliances don't work. So same thing happens when B12 is deficient. If you don't have enough of B12, you're going to have mood swings. Your blood RBC cells are not produced properly. Your nerves are not going to act properly. So we have had cases where patients have come to us as they grow older. They've come with a symptom of memory loss. Okay, they're forgetful. They keep forgetting where the things they've left. They are very moody. They keep having mood swings. So when we come to them, see, generally when they come at an older stage, the first thing that comes to everybody's mind is it may be probably Alzheimer's, it may be probably dementia. But when we tested out, we realized a simple vitamin B12 deficiency was there, which when we gave her an injection for 3 weeks continuously, she was all right. Okay, so it was a simple solution, but we ignored this and we jumped to the conclusion that they might have dementia because of her age. So I'm saying be careful. It may not be as complicated as dementia. It could be a simple supplementation deficiency. Again, how much do you need B12 and where do you get it from? Now, B12 is usually got from an animal source. That means it's from meat, from milk, curd. These are the sources where you get them from. And eggs is also a good element. But vegetarians may not get sufficient amount from just milk and curds. In such cases, I would tell you, especially when you grow older, to supplement yourself with this. Okay, and B12, the dosage again would be around 250 to 500 mg per day, and normally they come as a separate tablet, or usually they come as a multivitamin tablet. So if I have to go on to the next one, that's omega-3. Now omega-3, call it like the lubricant of your body. Just imagine your body is a machine. Now if a machine has to work smoothly, you need oil. Okay, so now for omega-3 will be like your lubricant or an oil, natural oil that is found in the system. Unfortunately, this omega-3 cannot be synthesized or cannot be made by our own body, so we have to get it from food or from outside source. And most of you would have heard, what is the most common source for omega-3? It is usually from the fish, or you would have heard of cod liver oil tablets, you would have heard of seafood. These are the most common ones, but doesn't mean that is the only place you get it from. Okay, now omega-3, there are three types. There is EPA, DHA, and ALA. Now normally this fish and seafood sources give EPA and DHA, which are very good and very effective in helping control the heart, controlling your triglyceride level. It reduces your triglyceride level. It helps in lubrication in your joints. It helps your memory to work better. But other sources like walnuts and flax seeds or plant sources, they usually give ALA. ALA is the lesser, like the stepsister kind of way, where it doesn't give as much value as EPA and DHA, but it gives a little value. So it is better always to take a source from not just fatty fish or seafood. You can even take it from an algae based. So from that plant based also you will get them, but supplementing would be better rather than just relying on a simple source like flax seeds and walnuts. This is about a little bit about omega-3. Again, omega-3 is given at a source of 250 to 500 milligrams per day. Okay, and as you grow older, vitamin acids in your stomach is reduced, so the omega-3 that is being absorbed also can reduce. In such cases, supplementation is better than just to leave it out. And omega-3, it has a very wonderful effect. It's a very beautiful fat. It is the most important fat that you need, because it reduce, especially for people who have triglycerides high levels. Okay, it will reduce their level, though it has no effect on LDL. See, there is a difference between triglycerides and LDL. It can only help in triglycerides, but not help in LDL. But it's a very good cholesterol to have. So the last one which I'm going to talk about is multivitamins. Now, as the name suggests, multivitamins itself means it's like a thali, right? It's like a complete meal bag where you have different elements in one plate, right? It's like that. So multivitamins we have from A to A, B, C, D, it goes on. Okay. So if you go to most multivitamins, they will have, usually it is 13 vitamins plus 16 odd minerals are there in that multivitamin. Okay, this again, is it required by everybody? Most of these are required in negligible amounts and are usually got by your diet itself. So you do not require all of them. So what happens is, even if you're taking it and you don't have a deficiency in it, it's going to go out of your system through your kidney. So like I said, try and avoid multivitamins as much as possible. Only in cases there is deficiency you can take it. Do not make it a habit to take every day. And always when you're choosing it, look at ones which have lesser, lower or moderate amount of the vitamin rather than mega doses. Because when you take them in huge doses, they have more uh, detrimental effect than a good effect. So I would make sure that I choose a brand which has WHO certified or IASH certified, and it definitely is specific to your age group. Or I would ideally say avoid multivitamins, do a complete blood test and check which is important and take them. Okay, so I've just covered all the five of them. So I'm going to tell you, do you need all the five? Just now I told you, no, it is not required for everybody. Just see which ones you are deficient in and then take it. And if you have any kind of illness which prevents you from absorbing them from your food, like you have IBS, you can stop them. You can take supplements. And if you have unexplained symptoms, first try and get this tested out with your doctor if it is because of a supplement, because of one of these deficiencies, and take a supplement and it should do good. So always go on a doctor's advice. Now, common mistakes that you want to avoid is most supplements are again a kind of a medicine, right? So it will have interactions with other medications. Just to give you a simple incident that happened, we had one patient who was having hypertension. She was taking some medicines, and then she started taking turmeric because someone told her it will help her in controlling her blood pressure as well as is very good for her joint pains. Now she came back to us with a lot of purple bruises and patches around her skin without any explanation. Like she's not hit herself anywhere, but she's got these patches everywhere. And then when we did a little history and talking to her, and we realized she's taking this turmeric. And what turmeric does is it's a blood thinner. So when she's taking along with the blood pressure, it was making her blood even more watery, which was causing bleeding, internal bleedings. So once we stopped her supplement, she was fine. So please make sure you take before taking any kind of supplement, talk to your doctor. Please do not mix herbal medicines with allopathic medicines unless and until you've spoken to your doctor and they have said okay, you can take it. Please do not mix them. And definitely do not skip meals and take only supplements, because supplements do not give you energy. They do not cure a disease. They only act as a supporting system for your body. It can only probably help you reduce the risk of a disease, but will not prevent a disease, nor will it take away a disease. So I've come to the last part of it, and I will just stop sharing. You can ask me your questions, and if there are any questions, I can definitely answer them.
Hello, Doctor. That was again an amazing presentation. I would just say the last slide which you just showed, like the common mistakes people do, I am one of them. So, and the second thing, when you told about the multivitamin, for me also the same thing. What I also thought, many of them they suggested, some older people they also told, Firoz, don't worry, just have some multivitamins and you'll be fine. And I used to take some that black color capsules for that. I used to take that, but then I stopped it. But for all the vitamins, you actually elaborated so well, so well. Like I also learned many things. But let's see some questions. But before that, I would just like to say to all our lovely participants, there are 275 plus people over here, plus more than 2,000 people watching us live on YouTube. Please do click on the chat link below. You can get connected with Merzi community. So it's written to join the Merzi community, join a WhatsApp group for the latest update on nutrition, active aging, and active aging. Who doesn't want that? So please be there, and tips to live a vibrant, purpose-driven life. So there's a link given below. So please do click on that link, and anytime you can message them. So, ma'am, there is a question. Sunita Verma, ma'am, is asking: should we take calcium supplements if we are having curd regularly?
Yeah. So, like I told, milk and curd is definitely a very good source of calcium, but it also depends on how much you're taking. depends on your age. Like I told you, as you grow older, the stomach acid kind of reduces, and your digestive system, your absorption system kind of slows down. So it depends again at what stage you are, what kind of disease do you have. Based on that, you will have to decide whether you have to take it. So definitely talk to your doctor.
Amazing. One question, this answer, my mom also needs the answer for this. Is it okay to take calcium and vitamin D lifelong?
No. Okay, because I'll tell you what happens if you continuously take calcium. You do not know that you are over supplementing yourself, especially if you have a good source, if you have a good amount in your body. And unfortunately, by the time you realize that you've overdosed yourself, it is too late, because whatever extra calcium that is there that you're giving your body gets deposited in your blood vessels. Okay, it is one of the reasons why you get heart attacks and all that. Those plaque formations, it kind of makes it stronger. So I would advise you, usually even when I'm prescribing, I tell them to give gaps. Even if they have deficiency, I tell them take for a certain period, then give gap and then take again, because we do not want you to overburden your body with calcium. So no, lifelong is not what we expect, but at regular intervals, if you take them, it is definitely beneficial if you are having deficiency.
So for this also, you need to again consult Mercy people.
Yes.
They'll tell you according to your age, according to your issues, if your body have any, then only they will suggest you what properly you need to take it. So there are two questions, ma'am. I'm combining both, like Jaya ma'am and Sarita ma'am asked the same thing. Like, should we take milk at night or else in the morning?
You can take it. There's no harm in taking it. Milk. It's supposed to help you sleep better. Warm milk, especially if you're taking it at the night. It is a good source of calcium. But again, it depends on if you have any kind of dairy allergy, you can avoid them. But there's no harm in taking it. When you take milk, is definitely not a problem.
Okay. So this is again one more question, which since my childhood, I was also having this cod liver capsules. My mom used to give me, but there are many vegetarian friends also of mine. They also say, "Can we take this?"
Okay. So see, cod liver oil tablets, or we call them seven seeds oil, if seven seeds tablet. So even as kids, even we were given, because unlike what you assume that supplements is only for elderly, it is even for children. When they grow, also they need this good kind of fats, right? So it is advisable to take them. The sources, though it is from fish, there are some of them which are made from algae based. You can read the label. It's prepared from algae, which is not exactly an animal. It's considered a plant. So that is plant based. You can definitely take them. There are even from walnuts. There's flax seeds which you can take from. The quantity may be less, but it is definitely a source if you want to avoid completely fish or cod liver tablets. There are algae based ones which you can choose from.
Awesome. One more we have. If someone is treated with hernia operation, then whether they should take calcium or not.
I'm sorry, any kind of surgery if you take, will not have any effect on your supplementation unless it is something to do with your gut system. Okay, so hernia operation or any operation will not have any effect on what kind of supplement you take. Only if it is something related to your gut and they've done something with your stomach or your intestine, then the doctor will specify which supplement to take. Okay, and just because you had an operation doesn't mean you have to take a supplementation. Okay, the reason why we give multivitamins after any kind of surgery, if you notice, there is always a prescription of a multivitamin. The reason is because during your after your surgery we give you antibiotics, and most antibiotics kill all your probiotic like all your bacteria, good bacteria in your gut. Okay, so that means at that time the good absorption that should normally happen is not happening, so we supplement you on top of that. Doesn't mean you have to take it lifelong.
So that's amazing. Is there any interaction between minerals and blood thinners?
It depends on which minerals you're taking and the dose that you're taking. Okay, again, this, if I start talking, it's a big topic on its own. I think I can create a seminar for that itself. But again, I said it depends on what type of a mineral you're taking, the dose of it. And I know it's a new fad that you have to take, there's magnesium deficiency, there's zinc deficiency, there's selenium deficiency, but you have to remember the quantity that you require is very low compared to what you really need. So unless you have a blood test which shows you have a deficiency, I would avoid taking these supplements. though it is being proposed in all the YouTubes and Instagrams that, hey, take this, your hair fall will get better, take this. I would avoid that, because again, small doses is required, and most of it is usually complete with your diet.
That actually we called as social media doctors actually. So we
Yes.
actually refer them a lot, and then so please don't do that. Don't do a mistake, because whatever the age you are going through, or else your son, your daughter-in-law, daughters, or anyone, they need to actually consult, and then only please do take it. Always. We'll take more one or two questions. We have some time. Uh, what is the cause of osteoporosis?
Osteoporosis.
Yeah.
Okay, this is osteoporosis basically means reduction of bone density. The calcium is being coming off, right? There can be multiple reasons. Like I said, one, calcium deficiency itself. Second is your hormonal imbalance. So there are a lot of reasons for this, and usually as you grow older, only this becomes more a problem. Okay, and I would suggest to avoid these in growing phases itself. We should be very sure that you take proper amounts and make your deposits really strong, so that tomorrow when hormone imbalance happens, you can still supplement it with a small dose and still be okay. It makes your bones weak. That's what it happens.
So one more last question we'll take, but others don't worry. We will be sending all your chats to the team, to Mercy team. They will be evaluating the questions, and surely they will be letting us know answers also. As well as you have the link to their WhatsApp group. You can ask there also. The last question is by Katie ma'am. Will my very low B12 levels increase with Neurobion Forte tablets? I'm a non-veg, but prefer to eat veg food. Any tablets recommended if my husband is very constipated to increase bowel movements?
Okay. So these are two different questions. Let me first answer your first question about your B12 deficiency. Now, B12 deficiency, if you are a vegetarian, it's a little bit difficult, because the source, like I told you, vitamin B12, most sources are egg, meat, milk, curd. So those kind of foods. But even in milk and curd, the amount of B12 is a little low. So supplementation is the way to go for that if you have a deficiency, known deficiency. Then coming to your husband's constipation, see, supplementation is completely different from what constipation is, what causes constipation. Okay, so constipation usually occurs when there's not enough water is taken, there's not enough fiber in your diet. So just adjustments of this will help you. Having said all this, there's one thing that everybody asks me: why not take multivitamins daily and just be done with it? Like I told you, it causes more determinants than what is required. You're putting unnecessary strain on your kidney. You should avoid that and take it only if it is needed. And second thing you have to remember, one size does not fit all. So I cannot ask my neighbor, just because I'm not able to see clearly, I can't take my neighbor's glasses and wear it. I have to get my eyes checked and then wear the appropriate glass. So that the takeaway message from today would be, please get your test done, talk to your doctors, take the right kind of supplements, and that will help you more than just taking a multivitamin.
Amazing. That was lovely. And I would request everyone to put it in their chat box. If you have any topic which is related to everyone and you want that topic to be covered up by Mercy, by Primus, they will surely love to take in consideration. So you can just WhatsApp them. And thanks a lot, Doctor. Once again, that was a lovely session and too much to learn. We will be sharing this link in the group in some time so that others can also take the privilege. They can have a privilege of having this. So thanks a lot, Marzi, Primus, and Dr. Sneha. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone.